Hello everyone, Jorge Huertas once again with all of you. Today I'm gonna show you what is and how to make and use the concept of graphic composition. This video is also available in Spanish. Well, when we talk about graphic composition, we're really talking about that design resources, and it got the following characteristic: is the arrangement of the different elements within the visual space in a way that is balanced, oriented, in order to transmit a message to the target audience. It is an adaptation of different graphic elements that have previously been selected with a visual space, combining this in such a way that can provide meaning to it, together give a clear and concise to the reader or viewer. There are 7 basic elements of the compositions, with our color, lines, texture, size, form, value, and space. We are going to talk about all of them. So it's extremely important, because one of the most important things that I always try to say is that design is not intuition. This is not art. The design is not subjective, and we're going to see a couple of examples that they will really going to help us to know how to make a composition. Before starting, if you like what we do, if you like our job, please subscribe to our channel. It really helps us a lot. Also, if you like to give us a like or make a comment, is always welcome. Okay, so the first thing that you need to understand is that you don't learn how to design all of a sudden and without having visual culture. This is a long process, and I mean a long process, that you have to work day by day, improving your skills, making a better understanding of the whole composition, understanding what's going on all around. So that is very important that you keep that in mind, because sometimes people say that you wake up someday and all of a sudden you start to design. Design doesn't work that way. You have to really work your visual culture, your composition, and start growing and growing from that. Okay, so the first thing that you need to know is visual culture. What is visual culture? Is the way that you got to view and analyze different reference in architecture, in design, in kitchens, in livings, in graphic designs, in everything. I mean, you do not develop a taste and you know what is good and what is bad all of a sudden. You need to start watching. You need to analyze why you like what you do. If it's the color, if it's the size, it is the composition, what is it? And that is extremely important, because it really allowed you to start creating that culture. When you like something, you know why it is. When you don't like something, you know why that is. And of course, this is a process that it never ends. For example, myself, I always watch references. I always watch different kind of situations, because, I mean, this is a long process. After that, it's very important that you understand the format. When you are going to make a composition, you need to know which format are you going to work. For example, the first thing that you need to know is what are you going to do. You are going to make a infographic, a interface, a flyer. What are you going to do? And depending on that, you start to visualizing and understanding what's going on and how can you focus on something. So that is very important if you understand what's around. So it's important that you understand all the measurement and the different kind of format depending of what you are going to develop. Then when you know the format, it's important that you know the reticle. And that is very important, because that's the grid. It means that the grid, what grid is more convenient for your development? Law of thirds, golden ratio, design guidelines, what? If you don't know what this is, please here watch our playlist, because in that we explain every single kind of grid, because there are a lot of different kind of grids and a lot of people don't know that, and they just design in a way that is intuitive. I do not recommend that. Actually, the best designs are the ones that are more planified and you understand everything what's going on. But to develop that, you need to have a clear concept, a clear idea of the grids and the different kinds of grids that they are. After that, you are going to choose your graphic line. The graphic line is extremely important because are the components that you are going to use in your design, in your composition. So, of course, the color, what is the color palette? Are you going to use lines? Which kind of lines? The thickness of those. Are you going to use illustration? Are you going to use photography? Are you going to use pictograms? Everything is very important. If you don't know what a graphic line is and what all the different components, please here watch our video because we explain that very, very specific. And it really helps you to understand when you are making a decision, you have to have all the information and understand what are you going to use and what is it for. Then all the design principle compositions are very important, and there are many principles, but the most important are the resources of hierarchy, which means that if something is more important, you put bigger. If it's less important, you put it smaller. The space that you leave between the different components, the proportion that are you going to use, which kind of proportion are you going to use, the different kinds of units and the different kinds of elements that you got for all of that. So that is extremely important that you keep that in mind. And of course, the diagram layout is basically the view and analyze of the different kind of reference that you got, so you can be inspired, because sometimes people believe that one day you wake up and you know exactly what you want to do. It doesn't work that way. You have to keep watching and keep understanding what's around, and basically always remember user-centered of design is what really allow us to give the message to our viewer, to the person that is looking for our development. So the message is clear and people will understand that. Of course, there are different ways, but in the layout list of the channel, you can find all the different components to understand each one of those. However, it's extremely important that keep in mind that you always have to keep working in your visual culture to understand the layout of the development that you're going to make, to understand the trends that are around that. And it is essential to maintain updated and the forefront of the new trends and technologies that really allowed you to keep working, because I mean, nowadays we can use this, but we don't know in a couple of weeks or in a couple of months what's new. So that could really help us to understand and make a better decision and a better choice. Thank you so much. I hope you like the content of this video. Please subscribe to our channel, Design Thinking 24/7. Follow us on social media. Remember that every Monday we have a new video in Spanish, and every Thursday we have a new video in English. Our Udemy courses are already available in the description of this video. You can find the link. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.